Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new video, my second video of the day here today, and this one is going to be my setups for every single track, all 21 race circuits on the F1 2019 game. If you guys missed a video done earlier on today, also go watch it guys, I'd thoroughly recommend it, also because I want your feedback. It was a video where I spoke about the 5 things that in my opinion need fixing right now on F1 2019. Click the card in the top right hand corner of your screen to go see exactly what I meant in that video. But today we are here for this video, and this is kind of like a part 2 because I did a setup video already once about a month and a half ago, but since then there's been a patch come out, and also I think it was patch 1.03, which is the one where the performance update came in and the cars got 1.5 seconds quicker pretty much. So a lot has changed. The question is, have the setups changed as well? Now, the first video, I'm going to still leave it linked in the top right corner of the screen anyway, and you guys can go watch it, because in that video, it's going to be, well, that video is more specifically explaining how to make setups from zero, from scratch, because if you don't know how to make them, then that video should hopefully help you out. It's a very kind of beginner's guide, and also, disclaimer, I'm no expert, I'm not an esports racer, and I'm only going off what I see on the screen and what I think feels right. So yeah, for you guys that don't know how to make setups, go watch the video guys, because in that I'm actually explaining how each thing works, whereas this video is just going to be me pretty much going through each setup one by one, track by track. So let's jump into it and let's see how our setups look. So first of all, let's go into the setup screen here, and we're going to load up a setup. So default setup is a pretty good setup for most tracks, and these presets are all pretty damn good. But now let's move into some custom setups. Now we're going to go through each track one by one. I've got them all in order except for Canada, which was one that got away from me at the time. But first of all, let's kick things off with Australia. So first of all, you're going to see a lot of similarities across all the setups. I kind of use a generic setup that seems to work for me at most tracks, and I basically tweak a couple of things, where it's aero or ride height depending on the racetrack. So first of all, aerodynamics for Australia, I use 6.6 wings, transmission 75/100, and suspension geometry is going to be I think 3 clicks to the right and 3 clicks to the left with those values on screen. Suspension 2175/37, and then the brakes are 75/56, and the tyre pressures a little bit higher on the front end. Now we're going to move into Bahrain. Let's see what Bahrain has to say. So first of all, we're going to go over to the aero. There we go. So 5.5 wings at Bahrain, transmission 75/95, so a little bit lower there. In terms of suspension geometry, full right camber, full left on the toe. Suspension 1195/24 on the ride height, a bit more lower there on the front end. Brakes 75/54 for this track, and then tyres. I'm actually running quite a high pressure, as you can see there. I believe it's 3 clicks to the right and 2 clicks to the right on the rear tyre pressure. Now let's move into number 3, which is going to be China for the Chinese Grand Prix, and I'm running 7.7 wings here, 75/95 differential, and then I'm running full right camber, full left toe. Then I've got 1195/24, so exactly the same as Bahrain in terms of the suspension, and then 75/56 on the brakes this time, a little bit more towards the front, and tyre pressures a little bit lower as well, just 2 clicks to the right on the front and 1 click to the right on the rear. Now let's go into the next track, and that's going to be Azerbaijan at Baku, and I've got 6.5 wings here with a 75/95 diff once again. Then I've got, I believe, 3 clicks to the right camber, 3 clicks to the left toe, and then we've got 1195/34 ride height this time on the suspension, and then brakes 75/56 with tyres in the default position with tyre pressure, no adjustments here in Baku. Now we're going to move into the European season. We're going to kick things off with Spain. Spain is 7.6 wings, pretty high around there, and then we've got a 75/100 differential. Then we've got camber and toe with 3 clicks to the right, 3 clicks to the left. Suspension 1175/24, so this time running a little bit less front anti-roll bar, and then the brakes 75/56 and tyre pressures in the default position. We're now going to move over to the famous Monaco circuit next, and let's see what Monaco has to say. So we've got 8.10 on the wings around there. 70/100 on the diff. Then we've got 1 click to the 1 click to the right camber, 1 click to the left on the toe, pretty much keeping it almost default around there. And then suspension 1175/33 on the ride height at Monaco, and then brakes 75/54 on the brakes, because you want to try and leave out those front lockups if you can avoid it. And then tyre pressures are actually default around there as well. Next track is going to be, I believe, France. So let's go into France. Actually, no, the next track is Canada. So let's go down to the bottom here. This is the one that got away from me, and I had to do it afterwards. So Canada next up. We've got 6.6 aero, 75/100 on the diff, and then we've got 2 clicks to the right, camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toe. Suspension 119535 on the ride height around there, a little bit higher than usual around Canada because there's quite a lot of bumps and the curbs can be a little bit upsetting on the balance. And then brakes 7556 around here with default tyre pressures. Now we're going to move into the French Grand Prix, so let's go back up to France at Paul Ricard, and we've got 4.5 on the wing, so quite low around there. Top end speed quite important on that big back straight. Then we've got 95, 100 on the diff, very high differentials around there. Suspension geometry, 3 clicks on the camber and 3 on the toe, to the right and to the left respectively. And then suspension 1197, quite a high rear anti-roll bar on that one, and then 3.4 on the ride height, with the brakes 75, 54, and the tyres in the default position. Once again, running the brakes on 54 because front lockups are quite easy around France to do, and you want to try and avoid those if possible. Now we're going to move into the next one, which I believe will be for Austria at the Red Bull Ring. And for there we've got 3.4 wings, quite low because there's a lot of straights and you want that top end speed. Then we've got 85, 100 on the diff. Then we've got 2 clicks to the right on the camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toe, and then we've got 1185 roll bars and 3.4 ride height. Quite an interesting combination there compared to the previous ones. And then brakes 75, 56 with the tyres once again in the default positions. You'll see pretty much for the rest of the tracks now, the tyres will probably be in the default position. So now we're going to move into the next one. That's going to be for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And for this one we have 6.6 wings, default position, 75, 100 on the diff, pretty straightforward there, and then 2 clicks to the right on the camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toe. Then we've got 1.2 suspension with 9.5 roll bar and 2.4 aerodynamic height and ride height, and then we've got 75, 56 on the brakes and default pressures once again. Now we're going to move into the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. For this one we've got 7.7 wings, quite high around here because Sector 1, for turns 1 and 2, you want to have that good downforce to really be quick, and you're going to hurt a little bit on the back straight, but then after that, once you get past the back straight, you need the downforce. For the Mercedes-Benz Grandstand, the stadium section, Sector 3, the downforce is really important, and that's going to be very important for the car overall in terms of the balance. In terms of transmission, 85, 100, and then you got 3 clicks to the right on the camber, 3 clicks to the left on the toe, and then we've got 1.2 suspension with 9.5 roll bar and 3.5 on the ride height, with brakes 75, 56 and tyre pressures once again in default position. Now we're going to move into yet another track, this time the Hungarian Grand Prix, the one that just went by in real life, and we've got 8.8 ride height around here, quite high. It is known as Monaco without the barriers, and as we saw in the real life Grand Prix, Ferrari were quick in Sector 1 because they've got good top end speed, but Sector 3 is where they were really suffering. So 8.8 aero, very important around there. Transmission 75, 100, and then we've got 3 clicks to the right on the camber, 3 clicks to the left on the toe, and then we've got 118635 on the suspension tab, and then brakes 75, 56 and tyres in default positions in terms of pressure. Now we're going to move into the high-speed circuits of Spar Monza. First of all, it's going to be the Belgian Grand Prix Spa. 7.6 aero actually, quite high, higher than I would usually run. But Sector 2 in this year's game, the AI are very strong through there, and it's important to have good aero because it's easy to be quicker or as quick as they are through Sectors 1 and 3, but you need that downforce through Sector 2 because you lose about a second to the AI around that circuit. They're very, very quick in the middle sector. In terms of transmission, 75, 100, and suspension geometry is going to be actually 4 clicks to the right on the camber and 4 to the left on the toe, the highest, I believe, on the entire calendar for me, and almost maxed out on both of those. And then we've got 2.1 suspension, 9.6 roll bar, 2.4 on the ride height, and then brakes 75, 56 and tyres once again in the default pressure position. Now we're going to move into Monza, and this one's a bit more interesting. So of course, unlike Spa this time, you are going to run pretty low ride height, 3.4, not as low as you might think. Again, Sector 2 is quite important, the AI are quite strong around there, so it's important to have some aero on the car. So 3.4 wings, then we've got 75, 100 on the differential, then we've got again 4 clicks to the right on the camber, 4 on the left on the toe, and then we've got 117534 on the suspension tab, with brakes 75, 56, possibly 54 or maybe 55 because turn 1 you can lock up very easily. And then tyres, I'm actually running 1 click to the right and 1 click to the right on both the front and the rear tyre pressure. Now we're going to move into Singapore, which is the next one in my career mode in Season 2, and we've got 8.8 wings around here, 75, 100 differential, Then we've got 3 clicks on the camber to the right and 3 clicks to the left on the toe, a pretty standard one there. And then we've got 1175, 44 on the suspension and ride height respectively. And then we've got brakes 75, 56. Again, possibly 54 around here could work because you don't want to lock up on the street circuit. And then tyres, pressure. I'm actually running the pressures quite low. One of the rare circuits where I actually run negative pressures. And 2 clicks to the left on the rear, 1 click to, actually no, the front is default I believe, and it's 1 click to the rear on the rear tyres. So yeah, Singapore. Now we're going to move into the next one at Russia. In Sochi, we're going to go over to the aerodynamic tab here. We're using 6.6 wings around Sochi, and then transmission 75, 100. Suspension geometry, full right camber, full left toe. You can afford to run that maxed out because tyre wear is very low around Russia. Suspension 227544, quite a rare one there where I don't actually run one on the actual suspension at all around there. And then the brakes 7556, and then the tyre pressures in the default position. You can probably crank them up a little bit because, like I said, tyre wear is not too extreme around there. Next track is going to be Japan, one of my favourite ones, but one where the AI are very, very strong. So 5.6 wings around there. It's important to find a balance between Sector 1 with all the S's and then also the rest of the lap, especially Sector 3 with that massive long straight. And then we've got 95, 100 on the differential, quite high. And then we've got 3 clicks to the right on the camber, 3 clicks to the left on the toe. And then we've got 117545 on the suspension tab with the brakes 7554. This one running a little bit more towards the rear because the lockups are very easy to make, especially up towards the hairpin, the Kobayashi curve as I like to call it, and also spoon, and also the final chicane. And then the tyre pressures in default position. Now we're going to move on to Mexico, the fourth from last race of the calendar. We've got to start off 5.6 wings because you could run lower, but it is important to keep some of that downforce for the middle sector and the final sector around there. So yeah, 75, 100 on the differential, and then we've got 3 clicks to the right on the camber, 3 clicks to the left on the toe. Suspension 217534 on that tab there, and then the brakes are going to be 75, 56 with the tyres in the middle there. Once again, no changing of the tyre pressures around Mexico. Then we're going to move into USA. As you'll see on screen now, we're going to have 6.6 wings actually. Quite an interesting one because I'm not really sure where to go around the USA. It entirely depends on your comfort, your comfort level. If you can get away with lower wings, go for it because you'll be a lot quicker. I can't really do that. I need aero to keep me comfortable, so 6.6 wings around there for me. Transmission 85, 95, bit of a unique setting there. A suspension geometry, 4 clicks to the right on the camber, 4 clicks to the left on the toe. Suspension 117524, running very low ride heights there with the brakes on 75, 56. Again, possibly 55, 54 around here, could be doable. And then the tyres in default position. Now we're going to move into the penultimate race at Brazil in Interlagos. And here we're running 7.7 wings, sectors 2 and the start of sector 3, very important for overall grip. You need that performance, especially 1 and 2 as well. That downforce is going to be so key. And then transmission 75, 95, suspension geometry, 2 clicks to the right on the camber, 2 clicks to the left on the toe, and then we've got 1175, 35 on the suspension there, and then the brakes 75, 56, again possibly 55, 54 around here because it's easy to lock up into turn 1 and it's important that you don't do that. And then the tyres, 1 click to the right on the front and 1 click to the right on the rears in terms of the pressures. And then the final track, Abu Dhabi, let's load that one up and let's see what we have. So we've got 6.6 wings in the middle because the AI are very strong through sector 3. So even though you want to be fast through 1 and 2 and the straight line speed is important, the AI are coded to be very strong around here. So it's important to be able to level with them and match them through there. Transmission 75, 100. Suspension geometry, 4 clicks to the right on the camber, 4 to the left on the toe. And then suspension is going to be 119735. Very high roll bars around there for optimum grip through sector 3. Brakes 75, 56 with the tyres in default position. And that is it, guys, for all my track setups. And again, full disclaimer, I am not an esports racer. I'm not an absolute expert when it comes to this. This is what feels best for me and what works. All these setups are career mode based, not time trial based. So if you're looking for the quickest lap, you might not achieve it with this setup. These are all career mode related in terms of best performance over a race weekend for both qualifying and the race, and racing AI cars and possibly league racing as well. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. And I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. Try and keep it short and concise and to the point. You guys can pause the video wherever you need to get a specific setup for any track, and hopefully you guys do appreciate it nonetheless. And if you have any comments, leave them down below in the comment section. I'll do my best to try and get back to you guys and answer you in the comments down below. But if you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like and also subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also check out the videos at the end of the video on the end screen annotation if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon, but until then, let's goodbye from me.